Welcome to Witches of Three.
Speak free. Speak free. Talking about witches. Talking about.
Welcome to
Witches of
Witches
Three.
of Three.
Speak free.
Speaking free.
Speaking free.
So, freaking spee, something like that. We are filming the last episode of our filming day, so we'll just apologize.
Ahead of time.
And also we got hit with a big question that we've gotten
Yeah.
in a lot of different ways, and this is something that we've wanted to talk about, but it's honestly a little...
It's a heavy topic.
Difficult.
The law of attraction.
The law of attraction. Who all has read The Secret?
I haven't read it. I did watch a little bit of the documentary about
or
it.
the Oprah thing.
The Oprah,
did a
and
thing
obviously
on
I
it.
saw the Oprah special. And there's validity to it, obviously.
That's how most cults start, is there's a
Yeah.
little bit
There's
of
a
validity.
thread. There's a
Yeah.
grain.
That's how that stuff starts, is that's the little bit of truth, because
Yeah.
I did read The Secret, and I read it at a time in my life that I did need to read it, but luckily at that time I was also further enough in my studies to have discernment.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah. I could file this away with the other philosophies that I'd already read that were kind of similar.
Yeah. I
to
mean,
this. It's like, oh, okay, it's another one of those.
Because if you know us, you very much know that we are empowering. All we want to do is give you the power and let you know that with your intentions and with your mind, you can do whatever you want.
Yeah.
And The Secret, and they do kind of touch on that. But the question we really got is, when we talk about this subject, a lot of the times the idea of privilege hasn't been brought up.
right.
So,
So if
we
you-
literally got asked if the law of attraction and manifestation powers work. Why are there starving children in Africa?
All right. Which is a big, deep philosophical question. That's the same question as what does God let people starve? I mean,
Or
that's
cancer.
yeah,
Or children be abused.
exactly,
it's-
exactly. This planet that we live on, this energetic field that we live in, is different than any other energetic field, and there is a process that we have to go through here on this planet, unlike anywhere else, and it's duality. It's the idea of duals. So there, for every action, there is an equal opposite reaction. So just for every beautiful thing, there is also something ugly here. There's something ugly here. And it really just has to do with the nature of what this planet is and what its vibration is.
And that's science, though.
And that's science.
That's like when energy goes somewhere, it also has to shoot out somewhere else.
It has to come somewhere else. And a lot of those philosophies don't deal with that end of it. Because when you are working with that idea that I can push my will out into, the ethers and manifest whatever I want, there's going to be a reaction to that. You're going to awaken some part of your shadow when you do that. And if you're not prepared to do that work, then what you're going to get may not be what you want. And sometimes it's not what you want.
Yeah.
It's what you're asking for.
When we're talking about the law of attraction, I think people just kind of generalize that and think that they can make a vision board about one thing and then they will get that. And we touched on this in other episodes about how, as humans and in this world, we don't really truly understand divine concepts at this grand scale. So you may think that you're not getting stuff that you're asking for, but you probably are in just different respects.
Yeah.
Or things to help remove those blocks.
Yeah.
Or, maybe if you're asking for abundance and love, someone comes in and something comes in and like breaks up your partnership, your abusive partnership that's actually holding you back. But yes, there is definitely something we have to talk about with this idea of manifestation and brain power and intention when we talk about privilege.
So what I see out there a lot, and I'm just going to be totally honest, in the circle of affluent, mostly white women, and I'm not trying to generalize, but you know what I'm talking about. The yoga mom, the fucking, I eat all organic whole foods, and they're meeting to do these manifestation, the goops. Whatever. But I mean, it's a thing. And we have a lot of that where we are, and I know in places like California and New York, there's these huge.
That's an aesthetic.
It's an aesthetic. it's not necessarily spiritual. Working together to manifest more money when you're already sustaining is greedy.
That's ego.
And unfortunately, there are people in this world that just don't have that opportunity to have access to the knowledge or the tools and those things to do it. They're worried. They're literally living in primal times. They're living for survival. Like, they could give no fucks about getting a Gucci bag. But these bitches will all sit and pray for a fucking Gucci bag.
Yeah. This is a really important thing to touch on with everything that's going on in the world right now. If a certain group of people, or if anyone if they are living in fear and reacting from that, they are living in their root. And when people are living from their root, there is like really nothing else that can be done, because survival is first. I know no one wants to be 3D, but if you are on this plane, you are 3D.
You are 3D.
And if you are thinking about food and water and all that stuff, when we talk about manifestation, we tell you to feel these things, to know these things. If you are hungry, you cannot feel anything else. If you,
if you're dehydrated,
if you're sad, if you're hurt, if you're working through trauma, this is not
but I mean, if that's been your whole life, starving, how do you manifest prosperity and know that you have it if you have done nothing but starve your whole life?
Right.
I'm not saying I like it. I'm not saying that it's fair, when we talk about why do kids have cancer and stuff, but this is just the reality of it. I know that using my mind and changing my perspective and accepting my power moves me forward. Mm-hmm. But that is because I had people work with me to move out of my root, to get up and move through and work through stuff. If you cannot move from the root, if you are hungry, if you are abused and afraid of your life, that's
where you're gonna be stuck.
It. Yeah, that's all that matters. There. That's what's going towards it. Yeah. And I don't like it. But I can believe in the law of attraction and know that also people are starving in some places. Yeah. There is that duality. It's unfortunate. You can't just think, I want a hamburger. That's not the law of attraction. You really have to understand how energy works and what you really want. Like Shanna was saying, oh, you're trying to manifest money. Sometimes you don't want money. You want prosperity or abundance.
Stability.
You just want security. Yeah. Money doesn't bring security all the time. Mm-hmm. That's why you do this work, is to really look within and figure out exactly what you want. But if you are in the root, if you are in an abusive place, if you cannot figure out how to eat, if you can't get medicine,
if you're in fear for your life to walk down the street at night, you know what I mean? I'm sorry, there are certain people that live a life that we don't live, and so we can't expect those people to be working on the same things that we're working on. We have privilege.
Absolutely.
We have the privilege to know. I know that I have dinner when I go home.
Right.
And if I didn't know that, I wouldn't be worried about what I'm doing for Ostera. You know.
Shannon and I, we all have the privilege to know what the difference between abundance and prosperity is. We're talking about those. Yeah. We're not talking about if we're eating tonight.
Yeah.
We're not making sure that each other are warm.
Yeah.
And in from the rain or in from the storm.
Right.
And again, I know everyone right now on the internet realms wants to not be 3D and just kind of transcend to 5D and not deal what's going on, what is going on here. But that's not how it is.
That's not how it has to happen.
That's not.
We have to change here.
Yeah.
We have to change here to match there.
That's our spiritual
not the other
purpose.
way around.
Yeah.
We
As
have
above,
to change here,
so below.
So
that's
that
what we're
will
supposed
reflect.
to do.
Nirvana has only been achieved by.
Y'all are just trying to escape.
Yeah, that's.
You're trying to escape, and that's not how we deal with this. You got to fight it here.
And
to fight it here.
It's okay to escape. It's okay to escape, but understand
and
that you're still
sometimes you
here.
can use that, as well. But you just have to recognize that privilege. That some people can escape and some people literally cannot.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's a big difference.
That's not your fault.
No.
You can't feel guilty for that either. You can't allow your guilt for the fact that you are in a place of prosperity to also hinder your work. You have to own where you are and who you are and work from there. And work from there. If you're going around apologizing because you are who you are, you're only hurting yourself and only hurting your contributions to this world, because I am in a position of power, and I know I am, so I use my influence and my position of power to change. But if I was all like, oh no, I'm a 50-year-old white woman, I have no power because I'm a 50-year-old white woman, then I can't make that widespread change. So people that are elevated in that respect have the obligation to share and to do
privilege.
it, to bring people up. That's how you work this. You don't sit there and say, I can't do it because these people are starving. No, you go, I can do it so I can help these people. You have to own the fact that you are privileged, and that's okay. It's okay to be privileged.
A lot of it is just accepting.
Yeah.
A lot of people, like, I just did a like a spiritual guide to, like, I did a big journey recently to try to, like, meet my guides, because I've been really, really wanting to work with one of my grandmothers, because her and I kind of split up, like, on the topic of race. And I never understood why, because she picked cotton.
Yeah.
She picked cotton, so I didn't understand why she was very weird with me being friends with black people when I was in school, and we, started to separate. And now looking back as I'm older, I can see just a lot of fear. A lot of the things she said I didn't understand then. Like fear of, like, me getting in trouble, or, like, I remember she saying, like, the whites get in more trouble when they're nice to the blacks, and I was like, what are you talking about? But looking back, but I, like, did her because I really want to connect with her. She's one of my, I know she's there, but I just have a really hard time with that because I just don't understand it. And I asked to kind of connect with her and try to understand. And she was like, when you say white privilege, you link me with my oppressors. Those same men raped me.
Right.
Those same men beat my sister to death with her twins, know? And it was and I understand that. There's a very hard aspect in owning white privilege.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I think people just assume that because their individual life wasn't privileged, that they're not.
What I'm seeing from, like, little, like, Facebook spats and stuff, people are feeling like when they say that their trauma is getting fucking pushed away, that their pain isn't getting recognized.
Right.
And that's why they're saying, no. And that's why it's like, oh, the white men are getting loud. Oh, no, this is about me. Oh, no, I can braid my hair how I want to. But it's because, like, we aren't taking ownership of some part of privilege, and also knowing that, like,
privilege doesn't mean that you have a silver spoon or that you didn't have trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What it means is that your skin color
Wasn't part of it.
Isn't a part of
That's
that.
literally all it is.
That's literally what it is. Your skin color
Didn't
did
add
not
to it.
contribute to your trauma.
Yeah.
And we're really, this is really an American thing, honestly. I know that it has its validity other places, but here in the United States, it's something different.
Yeah.
And so I think that a lot of people, and this is why we're seeing people going to this law of attraction stuff and escapism, and really just, if I'm just happy every day, if I just say I'm happy and I'm abundant, then I don't have to think about all of this other stuff.
Yeah.
And honestly, that doesn't lead to enlightenment ever. You have to deal with the stuff that's going on in the world. And so if you want to use the law of attraction, you have to be using it for the greater good.
Yes.
But you have to own your shit too.
Yeah.
And I don't think people understand the power. No. They're so afraid of it, but the power in saying, yes, I have white privilege. I do see it from this way. I have been in a systematic society, and just saying that has given me so much power. And I understand those, a lot of us women were abused by the same men. It does feel, and I see a lot of white women, and I know a lot of them have really great intentions, but they're very much kind of lashing out whenever, like, a woman of color speaks about her trauma. It does not disregard your
yours.
trauma. It does not.
Trauma is trauma is trauma is trauma is
Yes.
trauma. However,
Yes. But if you want to manifest with intentions, like, you really need to know yourself and your shadows, because I do believe the brain completely works, but we only use 3% of it, guys. So if you're not working and healing and you're doing this manifestation work, you have no idea what will truly manifest.
No, that's the intention with words. I mean, words are magic. Your words are your spell. Everything you speak is a spell. But when you ask for something, you have to expect its polar opposite to make an appearance somehow. Somehow you're opening an energetic door, and you have to deal with that duality. So if you're asking for prosperity, money, riches, whatever, you're also going to be shown what's blocking that from your life. And sometimes it's really difficult. Sometimes it's people aren't prepared to see that aspect of themselves and why they look at the world the way they do, because that's all that's blocking prosperity is just your trauma. And if you're not ready to face your trauma, then it'll look completely different than what you want it to.
Because kind of making a big circle, to me, what I'm seeing with, like, the white women and a lot of that disconnect going on is they are shot back down to the root. Just like the people who are starving and can't manifest, they are shot down immediately back to the root. And that is where, and that's also where we need to acknowledge a lot of indigenous and black people are right now, because they're not safe.
Right.
Like, it's a totally, completely, and that's another thing when we talk about privilege. Like, they are not safe in this world. We are just safer.
Yeah.
So we can think on a different level.
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with how open or enlightened or whatever they are. It is the fact that they're afraid for their lives.
Yeah.
And so when I see kind of white women and black women fighting, it is a white woman saying, "Oh no, I'm afraid too." And I want you to know, just don't do it in that respect. When
Don't
a black
say that.
Well, when a black woman has to say her piece, let her say her piece. If you feel like you aren't getting heard, message us. Message Spirit Works. We will acknowledge your trauma and we will tell you. There's just a time and place. Her saying that doesn't do anything. And her saying white privilege does not link you with that oppressor. It does not make you the same person that abused you. Mm-hmm. That is, it's a lot of shadow work. And we're here to help you through it. And so,
I mean, we're here to help everyone.
We unpacked that. That was a big one.
We're here to help everyone.
We've been waiting to do this one.
And we're, this is. I mean,
this is part of our work. This is what
this
we
is
want
our
to help
this
with.
is really one of our major things, and we really want to help people understand that, like, trauma is trauma is trauma is trauma. Whether your trauma was, we don't need to compare. We don't need to compare. You don't need to say that your mother died in 12 feet of water and your mother died in 6. There's no reason to do that. But your trauma is just different than being a black woman, and we know that we have black watchers as well, indigenous women, people from all races, all genders, all of those things. And everyone's trauma is valid, but you can't stand up and compare one to the other.
Yeah,
can't speak from another person's truth.
This is another reason why, like, if you haven't yet, Michelle she started Empowering Goddesses again. They're reading a book right now, The 4 Agreements, which is, I think, instrumental in this type of work right now.
Yeah,
because people are taking stuff personally because everyone is afraid. Everyone is going back to the root. Everyone is afraid. Yeah. It is survival. It is a very weird time, and we're all going back. And we will help you, like, move through that as much as we can. Anybody. But we have to quit taking it personally.
Yes.
Yeah. When someone says something, she's not saying anything against you. No. She is just saying...
We have to not take it personally.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And if you really want to manifest, if you really want to do the law of attraction, because
the 4 agreements are going to be the foundation.
They are. That. Because you truly don't understand. I thought at first I thought I wasn't a good manifester. And then I looked back and I realized I manifested everything that I said. Yep. It just came wonky, because I hadn't done the spiritual work. I hadn't looked at my shadow. I hadn't truly understood what love was to me, what abundance was to me, what prosperity was to me. I was asking for money and stuff when I wanted security, like Michelle said. That's completely different, So that shadow work really helps with that. And if you can't manifest, it's a lot of it is if you're in your root, if you are in survival mode, you aren't connecting the 3D with the spiritual. You just can't. And
you have to work with both. You have to. It doesn't work any other way. Not here.
And we're
not on this planet.
And we're the only witches that will tell you that. But this is the truth. Like, this is the real truth.
The secret is healing.
The secret is healing.
That's the fucking secret.
It's the secret. No, that was a good tag back
Listen
to the
that.
beginning.
Listen to
Secret is
that.
healing.
And it will help you with that.
Yeah. We love you.
Thanks
for joining us.
Thank you.
Please keep sending us your requests for shows and stuff. This was amazing.
Yeah.
Like, we love to do this stuff.
Thank you.